Hello there YouTube. So today we are going to be playing a game called Hearts of Iron 4. My phone. And pretty much this is, if you probably came on this video, you might have searched up like tutorial or anything like that. Fair enough, that's usually what I do. And pretty much I'm going to be going through everything over the next few episodes. But today we're going to be going over political related stuff, like such as national focuses or these menu stuff, and we're going to be going over all of these and this and this and this. Then next episode I'm going to do something related, army related, so about ground, how to conduct ground, then air, then navy, and extra stuff. So yeah, let's get on the video. Okay, so just to point out, I am using a mod, so usually you wouldn't see Danzig being its own country or the French Republic having this president, so just saying. But that doesn't really change that much. So, and I have a special national focus tree for Romania, so I do for all of the countries. But this is just a quick warning. Like, the only countries that have a custom focus tree are the ones on the main menu, the main powerhouses. But the Road to 56, this is what it does. It gives you national focus tree for everything. So yeah, so what is a national focus? Now, you will have a variety, and these are pretty much what you want to do with your nation, and you can do one every 70 days, but on this mod it's 35 days, so it does it every 70 days. And pretty much I can either choose like general stuff, I can do air, industrial and economy stuff, politics and navy. So just to let you know, some of them you might not be able to do unless you've done other ones. For example, I need to do this one to get these and everything like that. Or if they have my phone, man. If they have a exclamation mark here, it means you can only choose one of the two. So, do I want to study Japanese or Soviet, Italian or German aircraft? So, yeah, that's pretty much the focus tree. I usually start with either economy or politics. I usually start with politics, maybe, for Romania, to go communist, because that's what I really like to do. Now, if you look at Germany, for example, you'll see they have something here that says the Axis. This, and then I have no faction. This is their faction. So you know, like World War II, there's the Axis and the Allies and the Comintern. Comintern was the Communist Soviet Union. Axis was Germany and Italy, and the Allies were mainly the UK and France. So as you can see, France have not joined yet, but England already started the Allies. And for example, like focus trees for the Germans might be, these are the actual ones. They're going to be to like remilitarize the Rhineland. Why is this not working? There we go. To remilitarize the Rhineland, so you can add troops there and everything like that. But yeah, this, just like I said, Romania doesn't usually have a focus tree. Now, this is your ideology. Pretty much what this is as you can see right now, we are FRN, which is I can never read this right. Authoritar. I'm not gonna bother. You can read that. Then you have 18% that is fascist. Cara de fier. Just to point out, I am Romanian. That's why I'm playing with this. And you have a bit of communism, and then you have democratic. Now, this you can choose what you want to be. For example, I usually go communist, so we're gonna go on to this. This is how you do it. So, as you can see, the next session, like 37 and everything like that, this is our leader, and usually this would be your faction. Now, this, the laws and government, we're going to start with this. This is your, let me explain this first actually. This is political power. You usually gain that daily, and pretty much what this does is you can go onto this bit over here, and you can make decisions using political power. This is stability, it's how stable and well your country is. This is war support, how much war support you have. Now this is really important as well, just to point out. Manpower, this is in my opinion the most important one. Like, it's pretty much how many men you have in your army. It says we have 3 manpower, that is the amount we actually we have right now to use. We already have, in our army it says we have 251 in the field, but we can also add another extra 17,000 and 17,000, yeah, 130. And you can see the air and thingy like that. Now this is training, right? When I'm gonna explain that later, we're gonna go through everything. Convoys. Now this is how you can escort or buy goods through the sea if you're not like enabled that country by land. Or you can use the naval invasion. I'll talk about that in the naval episode. And this is factories. Now factories, you have military and civilian. You use these to build stuff around your country, like forts or everything like that. So yeah, this is command power. Like it's just command power. It's pretty self-explanatory. Then you have army, naval, and air experience. How experienced your army, naval, and air are. So yeah, I'm gonna go through these actually. This isn't. I've talked about that. Some of them may take some time. Then you have this research. Now this is really important because, for example, you can select a technology to research, but you don't want to research something in 1942 because it's gonna take a long time, right? So we're gonna research step by step. Now, for example, Romania, we currently do not have any bombers. We have not searched any bombers at all, or heavy fighters or stuff like that. We barely have any fighters anyway. So what you're gonna do? We just tap this research, and then you're researching bombers now. So you can add bombers to your air. This is engine. This is pretty self-explanatory. This is pretty self-explanatory. The green means army, artillery, tanks, and everything like that. Special forces you can use like paratroopers or yeah. You have navy. These you always have these like the way you want to train your army. Then you have naval, air. Then you have engineering. So these usually take down your research time like 1%, and they end up going to like 5% and stuff like that. You have industry, as I said, and you have ET, which is I don't know how to explain it, but you get it. And X, which is this. So yeah, this is pretty much the research and everything like that. Alright, now, when it comes to diplomacy, I barely pay attention to this. It's just like how well you get along with other countries. Then you have trade. Now, you need these resources for building stuff, right? And you see that red means you don't have anything. Green means you have everything you need, and sometimes it's yellow, meaning that you have too much. So say for example I'm going to order some chromium. I can order some of this, and now it's yellow. If I just quickly, yeah, see, it's yellow. Let me just get this today. It's yellow, meaning that we have too much and we're making too much, so we shouldn't really be doing that. Now, the way you can order it, some countries you may not be able to do because you're at war with them, but currently I'm not at war with anyone, so I can order, for example, steel or tungsten. So I'm going to order stuff from the United States. It doesn't matter what the countries are, it usually gets to you immediately. United States again. And there we go, we have enough resources. Now, you have, this is production, right? Production is how much equipment you're making. Like these are civilian factories and military factories, right? So you can assign factories. Going from 12 infantry equipment a day, I can add some more factories and I go to 24 equipment a day. Yeah, support equipment is pretty self-explanatory. And if you just say for example, I've just researched a bomber, you press build aircraft and it will appear here. Currently, I haven't researched it yet, so I can just add an interwar fighter, some of these. And now I'm making some interwar fighters. That's pretty self-explanatory. You have the army, like infantry and support, tanks, air, and navy. Now, for navy, you're going to need naval dockyards, which is pretty much like civilian factories, and we're going to look at them over here. I actually kind of missed that part. Now you have infrastructure. Infrastructure is like roads to help your army move faster. Airbase, you know that. Anti-air is just kind of like artillery that shoots down air and airplanes. You have military and civilian factories. As I said, you can build them. I can just do this. Naval dockyards for the navy to build stuff. You can just do this. Then you have forts, land forts. So you can fortify your country to have better defense. So I can just do this against Hungary, for example, because I usually go at war with them. pardon me. You have coastal forts to defend your coastline. You have naval bases, so you can put naval bases over here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now you have recruits and deploy. Now, when it comes to this, you have to train them, but sometimes you might not have enough equipment, right? That's because you need to make the equipment yourself, meaning that you have to wait for this. Then you can get some more divisions, for example. You can add units as many as you want. Add a location. We'll go for Best Arabia, I mean. Yeah, then upgrade. I don't really focus on upgrades, just saying. Division templates. Now, this is kind of complicated to understand, but you can just like add the battalion and everything like that. You can save them by using stars. I call them stars, you know. So that's pretty much like the construction explained. I hope it really helps you. Then you have the logistics. This just shows you how much of everything you have, how much artillery, infantry you have. So we have minus everything, so we need to make them so we can go to war. So that's these explained. Now we go into this. As I said, you can, for the manpower, you can choose like, it will say over there, recruitable population, like how much you can recruit. I usually go for limited conscription. I wouldn't go for any of these. These are just waste, like service by requirement. I don't like them unless you're in a really bad situation. Then you have trade law, how you want to trade, like if you want just countries to buy from you, or if you don't want countries to buy from you and you just want to buy stuff, or you don't want to buy anything and everything like that. Then you have civilian economy, you have partial mobilization, more war economy, early mobilization. Some of these you need to meet requirements. For example, like for the volunteer only, I have it because I'm not at war, but for these you need to be at war. Service requirement, all out self, scrapping the barrel and everything like that. I'm sorry if you can't really understand me. There should be subtitles, maybe. They're probably not going to get it right. Now, this, as I said before, you might want to change from this word to communism or democratic or fascist. You're gonna choose the one that says democratic, reformer, communist, revolutionary. The one that have democratic, communist, or fascist. What you want to choose? I obviously go for communist. It takes 150 political power. Now we currently don't have that, so you have to wait, and then you can get them. Then you have Prince of Terror. This pretty much gives you manpower, kind of. And then I love the backstabber because it helps me become communist even faster, which is absolutely amazing. Research and production. I never pay attention to these. Just pick the one that you like. I've explained this, so you should really understand this. Like tank designer, you might want that tank designer, or any of these ship designers. Then military staff, you might want army, defense, or offense. You might want commerce raiding or naval maneuver. Ground support, air reform, if you want to have like close air support or just fight in the air, pretty much. And that's pretty self-explanatory. And national character, this is pretty much like you want to have if you want to have a balanced approach towards law enforcement and police and stuff like that, or the state's mandate, or legal status of women. I usually do traditional roles. Social order, it's your opinion, as I said, and these. Okay, so I've explained that. Let's go on to these. These are just notifications, like you have a research slot available, free dockyards, unassigned divisions. We have these divisions that we've not assigned. I'm going to go through them in the next episode. We have low manpower, we have 0, but yeah, you get it. Because we have some in the fields. Then you have convoys. We currently have 10. We've used 10. And we have none. So we need to produce them by going to production, build ships, convoys, assign some factories, and then willow on rubber and flags. We go here. And you can buy some. Okay, so but you need to obviously have convoys. We have here insufficient resources, so we're gonna get some. Now the last thing for this episode is you have these as well. I don't really pay attention to them. You have this. This is pretty much how you want to view your map. If you want to view it on the ground for like the army, this is the basic one. Then if you want to view a strategic navy map, so you can like, I'm going to teach you in the next episode. And then you just have an air map. You see your bases and you can send them anywhere. This is supply areas, how much supplies you have over the world. This is states, the amount of states. For example, Germany has a lot, well, the Soviet Union clearly has a lot, like it's pretty obvious. Then we have resistance map. Then you have resource map, how much resources each country has. We have diplomacy, like it would be red if you're at war with them, or blue if you're in the same faction or have friends with them. And then factions, for example, we have the Axis, Allies and the Comintern. You can join any, but yeah, pretty much you can join them if you want to. Now, as I said, you might want to join some factions, but you can't necessarily do that. This is the next one we're going to be going over. I forgot about this. You might want to click on the owner, right? And then you have all these diplomatic things you can do, like declare war, but you'd have to justify war first. But you don't have enough world tensions, so you want to increase your world tensions by doing stuff to increase your world tension. I'm going to explain that later in the other episode. You can have guarantee independence, meaning if they go to war, you guarantee them, so you can help them. You have to help them. You can ask for military access, so you can move troops through the country, or you can offer military access, so they can move troops. You have improved relations, so you can become better friends. Yes, please. You have a non-aggression pact, meaning that you don't declare war on each other. Now, ask to join faction. We need world tension at 100%. Currently at 0, so we need to increase it to join their faction. Non-aggression pact. They don't want to accept that. Lend-lease, meaning that we just send them troops like the USA did for the Allies. We can send volunteers as well. Oh my god, my pronunciation is so bad right now. Yeah, that's enforce. Return that. Boost party popularity. So for example, I don't need to boost it because they're already communist and I want to become communist. So when I am communist, I can then boost their party popularity. Then you have stage a coup, so we can, I think you know what coup means, like we get some people to kind of like drift towards this ideology and start a civil war kind of, but it has to be a major scale if you want to start a civil war. So you can choose democratic or fascist because that's our main ones right now, apart from the, this. And that's pretty much it. You can check what national focuses they have right now. Okay then. And yeah, this is pretty much it for this video. I really hope you enjoy. Stay tuned because I will be uploading the next one that is based on ground forces. And yeah, see you guys later.